All right. This is the 62nd episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast, the first episode in the Big 2-6. I am I want to say renewed, but honestly not really, but I'm going to say renewed anyways. I'm your renewed host, Aaron. And allow me to run my mouth for a little bit. I've said this like a couple of times now, but New Year's, I don't know. I was never really like a New Year's Eve party kind of gal because number one, I already sort of low key don't really like parties. So like the big soirees that people tend to throw for New Year's, I'm not super into. And also by 11 o'clock, I'm like out. 11 is like that's when the lids start getting heavy, when I start getting sleepy, and when I'm like I gotta go. It's time to go home. And of course, the whole point of New Year's Eve is to stay awake until midnight, well, past midnight, really. So the last time I did that, it was last year, and that was a lot of fun. I did have a lot of fun doing that, crossing over from 2024 to 2025 with some friends. That was a lot of fun. But this year, there were no events. Well, there were some events, but one of them, like the main event, like the main well, okay, I don't even really know if that's the main thing. I mean, it was really the only one that I heard of, but also I wasn't like really looking. Like the big catfish drop at Howlin' Miles was also I was like sort of asked to work for it, not for Howlin' Miles, but for my workplace, and I didn't really want to do that. But also, if I said like, no, I don't really want to work, I don't want to stay up that late, and then I show up there, then that's gonna be weird. So it's like yeah, I mean, I had no plans to go anyways, but imagine if I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just planning on sleeping," and then all of a sudden I show up in a, sparkly dress, which I don't own a sparkly dress, but imagine if I did show up with a sparkly dress, that would be even more surprising there. Um, yeah, no. I didn't do anything for New Year's Eve. I slept. I slept through it. I fell asleep at around, I wanna say, like probably right around 11, and then I woke up again at 1, and I was like, "Oh, I missed it." And then I fell back asleep, and I was like, "Okay." And, there were fireworks, maybe gunshots. My mom asked me like, "Oh, didn't you hear the gunshots at midnight?" And I was like, "Clearly not, because I slept through it." So, I don't know, there were a lot of fireworks though, but I've never really had trouble sleeping through those. Although I will say, when the fair was happening, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but at the very end of the fair, at the last day, they had this like big fireworks show. And I live moderately close-ish to the fairgrounds, and I heard all this popping going off, and I'm like, oh my god, is there a shootout going on? And then I was like, wait, this is a lot of shots, and they're also very regularly spaced in between each other. So it's like I don't think that's what's going on. And then I remembered, like, oh, it's the last day of the fair. And that made more sense. So I was like, okay, that's that, I guess. Yeah, I didn't really do much for New Year's Eve. I did want to take that Friday off because at first I thought New Year's Day was going to be a Wednesday, but it's not. It was a Thursday. And I was like, well, free 4-day weekend right there. Not so. Not so. There, of course, given that it was we're in that weird in between space in between like Thanksgiving and Christmas where sometimes people take 2 weeks off, but sometimes people don't. Maybe they'll like alternate a week. And that week, of New Year's, like I was there, but like most of my team wasn't, and like a lot of other people weren't. So I ended up having to fill in, more or less doing double duty that week, which it was fine, but not exactly what I wanted to be doing. So I had to come in on Friday. But enough of talking about work and stuff. Christmas also happened, lest we forget. I didn't really ask for much for Christmas because I feel like I'm at the age now where it's like, can I ask my parents for like Christmas gifts? And like, I sometimes I do, but I feel like at this point, like this Christmas, there wasn't really anything I just like really wanted, you know? I mean, last year I got my flash. That was my big gift, and that was a really good gift too. I forgot that. I left that out when I listed out all the good gifts that I had gotten over the years. That flash was a really good gift. I just need to get some rechargeable batteries for it because it uses double A's, and I don't know, it seems like they run out pretty quick. I think I just need some rechargeable double A's in general because like my flash and also this recorder that I use eats up so much battery. So much. Anyways, beyond that, um, this year, I got some new cookware, which is fun. I asked for stainless steel. I got one stainless steel pot, like a big stock pot, which I don't really use big pots that often now that I think about it, but either way, it's nice that I have it. It's not fully stainless steel though, it has plastic handles. I kind of want to get rid of the non-stick stuff that I got when I was in college because honestly, it's just not that great. And it's like kind of starting to lose its non-stickiness. And I want to replace it with stainless steel because with stainless steel, okay, putting my culinary hat on, you can pretty much beat the crap out of it and it will still be fine. Like you can use metal on it, you know, you can put it in the oven, you can put it in the dishwasher, and it will keep on trucking. And that is why I want stainless steel. But I got one stainless steel pot, a ceramic pan, which did not have, it had like a Bakelite. I think that was the material handle, so I can't put that in the oven. But I can't put all of it in the dishwasher, even though it's like, oh, if you want it to last, don't put it in the dishwasher. But like, I'm grown. I don't wash dishes, okay? I have a dishwasher now. It's gonna get used. In fact, my dishwasher is running right now. It's not super loud, but I can hear it. But you probably can't, because I'm gonna edit the audio so that you can't hear it. So yeah, what else? Oh, I also got, and this was honestly so funny because I've been asking for this for like 2 years in a row now, and this year I just didn't. But I got a one of those portable air compressors because I really want one for my car because I feel like every 6 months, like my tire light is on. You know, it's just like not even 6 months. It feels like less than that. Like every quarter, which I that's not 6 months. How many quarter? Either way, every so often my tire light is on, and it's like, do I want to drive all the way out and like pay $2 for air? You know, that gets old. So I got what I really wanted though, which I didn't really specify this because again, you know, these were kind of last minute because I didn't really ask for anything. What I really want is I want like a portable generator that has some plugs in it and it has like a light on it and it has an air compressor and it also has like a jump starter for my car. Now, I haven't really had to jump start my car like ever except for the one time. This is like maybe 2 years ago when my battery died. Um but I still had to call somebody to jumpstart my car, and I don't want to have to do that. You know, the next time my battery goes out, which might be in another 2 years, because the battery that I bought wasn't particularly expensive, um, I want to be able to at least jumpstart it so that I can get where I need to go. This time, I got actually. So we have Secret Santa at my workplace, which it's so crazy to me. I don't think people understand the concept of Secret Santa. I mean, we were sort of randomly assigned our giftees because we had to pick it out of like a, you know, little basket. So we didn't know who we were going to get. But the weird thing about it is that people were writing their names on the gifts. Like that defeats the point of it being a Secret Santa. Now it's just a gift exchange. And if it's a gift exchange, then that's fine. Like that's chill. But if we're going to call it Secret Santa, we got to keep it a secret. I didn't write my name on the gift. So, you know, hopefully my handwriting didn't give me away, but I don't write that much at my job for people to know what my handwriting is. So I think I was able to keep it a secret. Either way, at my office Secret Santa, I did get a portable air compressor because that is what I wrote on my list of things I wanted to get. I also wrote like a bunch of stuff on there. Like I didn't know what I was going to get. It truly was going to be a surprise. And it was a surprise. And it was a pleasant surprise. Because I have been wanting one of these for a while. I actually used it on my car because now it's getting, you know, fluctuating between being cold and not cold. Like that will, what did I just press? I don't even know. I'm pushing this out of the way. Did I press it? Okay, I think I'm fine. Anyways, now that it's fluctuating between being cold and being not cold, the tire pressure light comes on and I was able to use it and it does work really well. But now I have two of them because I got one for not Secret Santa Christmas at my home. So that was cool. And then my parents always just give me cash. Like my mom asked me what I wanted, and when she asked me, didn't really know. So I was like, whatever, get me like a gift card or something. Honestly, I've been joking with my mom for a few years now that if you don't know what to get me, like I don't even really want a gift card because I feel like gift cards are kind of limiting. You know, you have money, but you can only use it in a certain way. Now, what my dad would do is he would get me the vanilla gift cards. And before, you can't do this anymore, but I have I don't think this is like fraud or anything like that because it's my money. It's going to me, right? It was gifted to me. But I had two PayPal accounts, right? And I would use one of the PayPal accounts to give the money to my other PayPal account from the gift card and then just deposit that into my bank account. And it was like fine. And I can use it wherever I want and not be limited to the amount on the card, right? I tried to do that last year because my dad always gives me vanilla gift cards and not actual gifts, which also to his credit, I don't ask him for anything. So it's like, fine, that is your gift. Can't do that anymore. So now I'm just stuck. I'm looking at it because it's on my desk here. I'm just stuck with $50 on a gift card and I don't even really know what to do with it. Like I can't, I mean, I probably could use it to buy groceries, but you know, my groceries cost more than $50. So, I mean, I could just, you know, ring it up until I have $50 and then check out and then ring my other stuff up. I don't know why I didn't just do that today, actually, because I went grocery shopping today. Either way, I'm still trying to figure out what I want. Last year I bought a couple of books. This year I'm still on a book moratorium because I have so many books that I haven't read or finished reading. So it's like I can't buy more books if I already have books here. So it's like I need to finish reading these books before I buy myself more books, okay? And that's probably going to take 15 years because as we have established, I'm a very slow reader. So, yeah. What else? Is that it? Yeah. Pots, pans, gift card, and cash, which is fine by me. You know, like I said, I didn't really ask for anything. I didn't really want anything. I mean, there were a couple of things that I wanted, but they were going to be kind of expensive. Like I've been wanting to start like a RAID setup, which is, you know, external storage for my home office, which I do have now, of course. Because, you know, I've been doing this podcast for, well, I mean, it's been 62 episodes now, and that starts to build up. Like, I have two hard drives on this computer. One of them is an SSD, which I don't know if this is still the case, but when I bought this computer back in, I want to say 2020, was it 2020? Yeah, it was like October or November 2020. I can't quite remember. Either way, when I bought this computer, there were so many like gaming type computers that had SSDs and hard drives, but the SSD would be like 250 gigabytes, which really isn't a whole lot. And the hard drive, like my hard drive now is like 2 terabytes, which is great. But after doing this pod for, you know, as long as I've been doing it, it starts to eat away at the storage. And I've been wanting, like, I have an external hard drive, which it's over there. I have an external hard drive. I have a couple of them, but I really want a RAID system, especially if I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm going to mention it later. That would definitely come in handy. But, you know, at the lowest end, which if I go, because I have it wish listed on oh my god, VIDEO, oh my, DEO.com. I have it wish listed on B&H, which I'm not logged into, of course. Okay, I have it wish listed here. At least I think I do. What if I did all? Okay, I have it wish listed, and well, both of these are out of stock. Just also, not to mention that. Okay, hold on. Let me finish the thought that I had. I have a wish listed here, and I have this. And this is crazy. Why did I get this version? A 1-bay NAS enclosure, which, you know, I've been thinking, like, do I want to do NAS? Do I want to do just like a regular RAID? Probably going to just do a regular RAID because, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I had to go to Walmart at like, I don't even know what time, like 7 o'clock last Monday to buy a 50-foot Ethernet cable because my upload speeds here have been so doo-doo garbage. Like, it was so crazy. After 2 hours of trying to upload the last podcast episode, it was only at like 55%. So I was like, this is crazy. I need to get an Ethernet cable because I'm not connected via Ethernet because my um, router is in my living room and obviously I'm here in my office. So it's like, and it's still plugged in. But my upload speed was just like not even a megabit. It was crazy. And it's also crazy because I'm paying for like 100 up and down. Well, actually more than 100 down, but and I'm not getting those speeds. And so, it's Xfinity is getting on my very last nerve. I don't know how many times I could say it, but also, unless I want to get 5G home internet, which is going to be infinitely worse, I can feel it in my bones. I have no other option. Xfinity is the only provider in my apartment complex, and that sucks so bad. So bad. Because I don't think I'll ever have internet as good. Well, my internet when I was in college was really good, but I don't know if that counts. But the first apartment that I lived in here, I was getting 100 up, 100 down, AT&T, $50 a month. I didn't know how good I had it. Now I'm paying 85 for speeds I'm not even getting, by the way. Oh, I probably should contact somebody, but it's not even, anyways, all that to say, probably not going to do an NAS system because that is over the interwebs, and I'm not really trying to deal with all that with a network that is kind of unreliable. But either way, I have this one bay NAS enclosure, which why one bay? I don't know why. Dream bigger. Either way, this is $150, and that's just the enclosure. What is this? How many? 4 terabyte hard drive is $105. So 150 plus 105. I could probably do the math in my head. $255 at the lowest end. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't exactly have $255 to spare. But I feel like if I am going to be doing what I'm going to be doing, which I will explain later in the episode, I probably should get this at some point. I feel like that's just going to have to be a cost doing business. And you know what? I could probably write it off of my taxes because it would be a business expense. So it's maybe I just should. I don't know. I'm just not making the wisest financial choices presently, but we're trying. Money will always come back eventually. So it's but I can make things easier on myself by not buying certain things. But anyways, what was I even talking about? I don't know. I think that would be something I'd ask for a gift, but it is kind of expensive. My mom bought both me and my brother a flash, and that flash was maybe $200. And all of this together was, it's not really about the money, but my mom is also kind of the type of person who just thinks everything is expensive. I don't really know. Anywho, we're not going to get into that. Not today. Not here. Not in this this forum. But yeah, Christmas was actually pretty nice. I will say that much. My nephew he's 5 or 6. I don't know why I keep forgetting his age. He's 5 or 6. I forget which one, but I feel like Christmas is definitely a lot more exciting when there is a kid in the house, so that was honestly kind of fun to see. And he got a lot of stuff. Of course, he only got books from me because something that I vowed, when I started buying gifts from him is that he's going to get a lot of toys. He has gotten a lot of toys over his lifetime. He is set in the toy domain. He got a Switch this year, by the way. I don't even think he can really read like that, but he got a Nintendo Switch and a FIFA game, which is good because, I don't know. My brother makes a lot of questionable choices. Hopefully he's not making questionable choices in this realm, but I would like to hope that he's playing age-appropriate games, which he also plays Roblox a lot, which that's a whole other thing that we could probably get into. That's probably not the best of ideas, but not my kid, not my problem. Perhaps, but either way, he's only getting books from me, and this year he got the full Frog and Toad collection because I'm pretty sure that's his reading level. And yeah, who doesn't like Frog and Toad? I don't even think I've read the Frog and Toad books, as a kid. So maybe I need to steal them from him so I can read them and then give them back. But I got him the full Frog and Toad collection. I've gotten him a lot of books. Like, his library is stocked. His library shelves will never be bare as long as I'm here. Yep. So he has more books than I do, honestly. Like, legitimately more books than I do, including the ones that I have back home that I just didn't take with me when I moved here. Like, he has a lot of books. And don't let me find out that he's reading chapter books. I will buy entire box sets of series. I'll even buy a box set for myself. I don't know why I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not really into series nowadays. Like, if I can't get a full story in a 300-page book, like, I'm not reading it. I'm just so serious. But, you know, me and him, we might have different reading tastes. Maybe he does like a series. And if so, he's getting the box set from me. No questions. All right? So, yeah, that was Christmas. Didn't get any tickets this time. Got a ticket coming back home after Thanksgiving. That made me really mad. Again, poor financial decisions, which is speeding a poor financial decision. Eventually it becomes one. But this time around, I actually figured out how to use my cruise control on my car. And I mean, I know they're like pretty much identical across all cars, but it never occurs to me to actually start using my cruise control until I'm like an hour into my drive, in a long drive. So I'm glad I figured that out. And I saw a lot of cops and I got 0 tickets because I was always going the speed limit, or rather a little bit above the speed limit because I like to cruise. So, you know, did that make driving a little bit less stressful? It did. I will say it did. But yeah, I just you're not going to hear it from me every episode, but I feel like every episode I've talked about driving in one way or another, but I do just hate driving. And that's the one mention you're going to get of me hating driving. That's it. I promise I won't bring it up again this episode unless it's relevant, but I just hate driving. What can I say? I just hate driving. It's just not nice. It's just not fun at all. But you know what is fun? I started a segue. I didn't know what I was going to segue into. Okay, let me list out some upcoming shows that are coming up. I feel like there's maybe 1 or 2 that's been announced that I have not added to my calendar, but I'll just read to you what I have. This week, I think not much. By not much, I mean nothing. I have nothing on my calendar. That's okay. It's the beginning of the year. We're all recovering from, 2 consecutive weeks of traveling, maybe. Me, only 1, but I still need that much time to recover. But we have on the 12th of January, that is next Monday, if you're watching this the day it comes out, we have Turn Cold, Ritual Killer, and Face Rot at the Patton House and Gallery on North State Street in Jackson. And then on the 17th, we have The Gates of Brutality featuring a whole lot of bands. It is a black metal, not strictly black metal, there's some non-black metal bands, but primarily that kind of darkened black metal music festival at Howlin' Mal's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we have, this one did have a lineup change, so I'm gonna have to look. Give me a second so I can see what the lineup change was. Okay, I'm doing a lot. Where is it? Here we go. Snake Mirror, No Promise, 6 Days Later, and Dreams Without Color at the Patton House on Saturday, the 17th. Is that 2? Nope, that's just 1. Okay. 1 different band. And then in February, which, I was gonna say this year is a leap year. It's not. I don't know why I said that. It truly is not. But all my calendar enthusiasts out there, February is a perfect square. The 1st is on a Sunday and the 28th is on a Saturday. I love that. You don't see months like that very often, but when you do, it's great. So I'm gonna force this February to be very good for me. because it just looks cool. Anywho, on the 20th of February, we have Hole Opener, Hag, Die with Nature, and Dreams Without Color at the Patton House yet again. And then on the 28th, we have Buckshot Princess and Sad Bath at Howlin' Mal's. I don't have a time for that one. Did I say a time for the other ones? No. On the February 20th show, that's at 6. On the January 17th show, that's at 6. And on the January 12th show, that's 6:30. So there you go. There are all of your shows, and a little bit early, but I'm doing the ad read anyways. You know, you may be like me, and you may have gotten a little bit of extra cash this holiday season. And, you know, after you've done all your returns and exchanges of things you don't want, get something you actually want, you know, this post-holiday season, and get yourself some Eargasm earplugs. And what was that? Oh my god, okay, that's a fly. Jesus, get away. That scared the crap out of me. Use code, get away from me. Use code JX10 to get 10% off your order on eargasm.com. Use those gift cards. Use that extra money. Use those checks that your grandma writes you, because the only person writing me checks is my grandma. Legitimately. And get yourself the gift of hearing protection in the big 2.6. You know, we're leaving hearing damage in 2025. We're leaving it there, and we're bringing ear protection in to 2026. What's out? Hearing damage. What's in? Hearing protection. And by the way, I know not a lot of people like having a thing in their ear. That's okay. They have earmuffs. They have those. I think they are for children, and they are child-sized. Actually, let me check what kind of earmuffs they have on eargasm.com. Let me see. Earplugs, accessories, bundles, custom products. Okay, I don't see any like ear coverings, and also this category is completely empty, so never mind. Okay, I think these. Hold on, I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna get you guys the information you need. Okay, the earmuffs are in fact for children, and because they are child-sized, they might not fit your adult head if you have a big adult head. So that sucks, perhaps. But if you do have a small child-sized head, then you can get the earmuffs, and they're a nice powder blue. Actually, they come in pink and blue. You want some pink ones, you can get some pink ones. If you want some blue ones, you can get some blue ones. They unfortunately do not appear to be adjustable, though. So I think Eargasm, since I am one of your ear ambassadors, I'm gonna put in a little idea. You can pay me for this. You already have my information. But adult-sized earmuffs. Because, you know, sometimes maybe people don't want a thingy in their ear. And that's okay. That's completely all right. But you do still need to protect your ears. So yeah, that's that's my ad read. Okay. So, I am doing a couple of things this year that I hope will turn out really good. But they will require a little bit of cooperation. And I need to go to the page. Here we go. So, I got this little idea in my little brain. And I get those personal ads from yesteryear on my timeline on Instagram pretty frequently. I always stop to read them whenever I see one, because they're always so fascinating to me, because they really provide a kind of look into what people were, I guess, seeking in years gone by. And people really did, you know, put themselves out there. They really just laid it all out. And it's honestly so great, and I love reading them. And of course, you know, these used to be in like newspapers, and newspapers aren't really a thing anymore. Like, obviously there are still news, like print publications around, but I don't know, man, newsprint is unfortunately dying. even though, what else am I going to clean my windows with? It's the best thing to clean windows with is newspaper. Why? I'm not really sure. But either way, those personal ads, I find them really interesting. And it's like, I think a lot of people can find it kind of hard to meet people, whether that be friends or romantic relations these days. And I thought, why not make a zine that collects people's personal ads and put them all in like a little zine. And at first I did think about doing this with actual newsprint, and you can buy newsprint to like print on. But the thing about it is that, newsprint is like really thin. I'm working with a regular printer over here. And it would be kind of hard to print it on a printer. I mean, maybe not impossible, but definitely a little bit difficult. And I didn't really want to buy like an entire ream of newsprint and not really be able to use it. Are there services that might be able to print it for me? Yes, but also, keep in mind, I would like to be doing this myself, and outsourcing that would probably cost a little bit, which is fine. In the pursuit of art, money is no object sometimes, but I think if I can just like find some nice like gray, just like regular gray copy paper, and kind of zhuzh up the graphic design of it, I can probably get away with not putting it on newsprint. But yes, the title of the zine, tentatively, because I mean I say tentatively, but I'm really attached to this title, is Seeking a Personal Zine. And I have a Google form, which, by the way, this just in, I'm going to do some editing for this episode. As I have been describing this, there will be a QR code on screen. A QR code. What does QR stand for? That's not important. There will be a QR code on screen. You can scan that QR code. It'll take you to the form, and you can fill it out, put your little personal ad in there, and contribute to the zine, and it'll be fun. I'm actually going to be doing some editing, which, I mean, I do edit a little bit, but not a whole lot. Either way, it's called Seeking, and I'll just read you the little blurb that I wrote on the forum here. Meeting people is hard. Even in the digital age, it can feel impossible to connect with people, be it to make friendships, romantic relationships, or other forms of human connection. So much so that maybe it's time to return to the analog way of meeting people. Personal ads. Back when newspapers were a thing that every American found on their doorstep every morning, a section was dedicated to classified ads, a page or two listing things for sale, job listings, and of course, those personals. Over time, personals shifted from newsprint to HTML on websites like, from newsprint to HTML on websites like Craigslist and early dating websites, and because print is a dying medium, so are those personals. Are you seeking connection? A partner, a friend, a pen pal? Plead your case below. These will be anonymous, but keep in mind, someone might actually see your personal ad and want to reach out. So yes, you will need to provide a real email address. I recommend making a new one for this, or not if you're bold. Honestly, you don't really have to make a new email for this, unless you just like really want to, then that's fine, but you don't have to. Be as corny or earnest as you want. For examples of a personal ad, Google it. You'll find many examples. And I don't know about this, considering I don't really have that many responses right now, but I said I was hoping to have this zine out and printed in early 2026. And I think early 2026, that caps off in about April, considering it's January. I don't know. However, I did say I also want at least 20 responses. So share this with someone who is also seeking something special. And for updates, you can follow me on Instagram, because I do everything on the Instagram. So yeah. And the sections, it's really simple. Give yourself a pseudonym and list your age. Say what you're seeking. Give 2 to 4 short sentences that include a short description of you. And where can people reach you, which would be your email. And also double check the spelling, please. And I've already written a foreword to this. I gotta remember where things are. Oh no, not that. Hold on. Here we go. I've written a foreword to this, and I've also got my own little blurb. I don't really know what the pseudonym is going to be. Like, I need to think about that a little bit more. Actually, I'm looking at this now, and I'm not You're just going to have to find out. You're just gonna have to find. I don't know why I got self conscious all of a sudden about this, which the whole point is to not be self conscious and like really put yourself out there. But I looked at it and I was like, actually, you know what? Never mind. Never mind, actually, you'll just have to wait and find out and find the zine. And when the zine does eventually come out, and I'm hoping it does actually come out, because I do this a lot. I don't enjoy doing this, but I do start a lot of projects and I don't finish them. I want to start something and I want to actually finish it. So, I would like to get 20 responses, and, share it. Age, well, okay. I would prefer those responding be like over 18, but, over 18 and to the moon, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be romantic. A lot of personal ads, especially the Craigslist ones, they do have a reputation for being a little, a little dirty, which that's fine. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. But it's not limited to just that. You want to pen pal, talk about whatever. I saw this one post on Instagram where it was just a bunch of personal ads of teenagers wanting pen pals to talk about Garfield. And honestly, that was like so sweet. It stuck with me. So it's like, whatever you are looking for in this world, whatever you are seeking, let the people know. And so far, including my own, I have 3 responses. So I need 17 more. And of course, you don't have to be located in Jackson or Mississippi to do this, considering all the correspondences will be digital. You can be from wherever. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, submit to the form, please. And also, when this comes out, I will have the physical copies. Why do I keep touching stuff? I will have the physical copies. I hope to have the physical copies in the Landmass Library, on the steps of Urban Foxes here in Jackson. And of course, if you want a digital one, if you submit to the zine, you will be getting a digital version of it. I should put that out there. You'll be getting a digital version. But I don't know the physical copies will be for sale. The digital ones might be for sale for money. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't worked that out yet. We'll see. We will see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, submit your personal. Yay. Okay. So that's fun. By the way, I'm having some sangria this evening. I finished off the bottle because I bought this huge, ginormous bottle of sangria for a party. And obviously, I was the only one drinking it, so only a little bit of it got drank, so I had to bring it back home. It was like a 55-ounce bottle. It was huge. It was bigger than a normal wine bottle, and so I've been slowly finishing it off over, a few evenings, and this is the last of it. It tastes pretty good. I mean, it honestly does kind of taste like communion wine, but I think because my first time having wine of any kind was taking communion as a child, I just think all red wine tastes like communion wine, and this wine does kind of taste like communion wine. It should be on ice. I do not have an ice maker, and I didn't put any cubes or any water in my ice tray, and I haven't for a while, so I don't have any ice. It definitely does taste better over ice, and I don't even really like ice in my drink, so like keep that in mind. But it does kind of taste like fruity communion wine, and that's okay. It was cheap. This isn't the good stuff. So yeah, we have, and for YouTube.com, this is just Kool-Aid. Actually, I lied. I'm not drinking alcohol on camera. No, who would do that? Who would do such a thing? That's so silly. It's some very delicious Kool-Aid. Yummy. Wow, such good Kool-Aid. Or non-alcoholic sangria, actually. I've had non-alcoholic sangria. That's what that is. YouTube.com. Don't ding my video. God. Which actually, I don't think they do for alcohol. I think they do on Twitch, which I haven't been on Twitch in 7 years, so I don't even know what's going on over there now. But they have whole channels dedicated to liquor on YouTube.com, so I don't think it's a problem, but whatever. Anywho. Oh. Another undertaking that I want to undertake in the Big 2-6 is I have put it out there, and some people have responded, and I'm very excited to hear from some of those people. from all of them. I don't know why I said some of them. I'm excited to hear from all of those people. Something that I want to start doing in 2026 is a little bit of freelance work. I already work full time. I get full time pay. Ooh, I have enough money to sustain myself. But I am always kind of trying to see how I can maybe expand my horizons creatively. And with that, I want to start doing photo shoots and music videos for bands here in Jackson and maybe, outside of Jackson. I do have a stipulation for outside of Jackson in that it is going to cost a little bit more. Because again, I don't know how many times I could say this. It is relevant this time, so I'm bringing it up again. But I hate driving. I do. So if you're going to make me drive outside the metro, you're also going to pay for my gas. It's the least you can do. But yeah, I want to start doing photo shoots. I want to start doing music videos. Nobody has music videos around here. What's up with that? What is up with that? I mean, obviously, okay, if you are going to go with like a videographer, a person who does this for a living, they are going to cost some money. They're going to cost a pretty penny. And I like to think that I kept my prices kind of reasonable. I hope. I do know for a fact that with both photography and video, I'm definitely undercharging. Like I know that for a fact. Like I know the formulas. I know how to move the numbers, but I'm not charging as much as I probably could charge, as much as a professional would charge. I do consider myself a professional, by the way, because I do this professionally. So it's like there's no imposter syndrome here. I am a professional. Thank you very much. But like these aren't like survival wages that I'm trying to pay myself here by doing photos and videos. And also I'm keeping it low because, I do kind of want to limit myself to, taking on the projects that I want to take on. Like I don't want to, just take on whatever just cuz, but like if I see the vision, if I, also, if I enjoy the music, of course it's going to help a lot creatively, but what was I talking about? Prices. I've kept them kind of low because, the stuff is already expensive, and I like to think that I can provide something really high quality at a pretty decent price. There is the freelance triangle where it's what is it? Fast, good, and cheap. I like to think that I know I'm fast. I know I'm a fast editor. This has been proven. I am a fast editor. And this is already cheap. So it's still gonna be good though. And I know that like kind of defies the triangle, but it just keep that in mind. If you are a burgeoning young band or artist wanting to work with me in the future, you gotta pick two on the triangle. Do you want it done fast? Do you want it done well? Do you want it done cheap? You gotta pick two of those. Okay? And because we already have cheap out of the way, but I still think I am good. And I still think it is reasonably fast. So I don't even know why I brought up the triangle. But either way, I have created a price sheet for if you would like to work with me. Like I said, I'm delighted to find this out, but I already have people who are willing to work with me, which I think that's dope. I'm really excited to see what I can create this year. I hope to do quite a few music videos. That'll be really fun. Because again, y'all don't have music videos. And I get it. They take a lot of time and energy and sometimes money to produce. But it's like, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to 2009, where I feel like the music videos were like really good. I want to do like really conceptual stuff, like basically short films. Like the most foundational, I think, music video in my life was the 13-minute version of Marry the Night by Lady Gaga. When that video came out, it was a before and after in my life, and I'm not even joking. Like that Marry the Night music video, and also just the song is like banging. Like I haven't listened, this is gonna sound crazy because I was a little monster back in the day, but I wasn't listening to full albums back in the day, and I have not listened to the entirety of Born This Way. But I think of all the singles, Marry the Night is the best off of that album. And so is the music video. Like, obviously, Born This Way, it's cool. It's concept. Judas is fun. I like the choreography. But Marry the Night. Oh, and I forgot about The Edge of Glory. That one was just fine, both the song and the music video. But Marry the Night, oh my god! If you haven't seen, and I haven't watched it in a while too, so after this I'm gonna go watch it. But if you haven't seen the full version, the full 13-minute short film, that is the full version of Marry the Night, I implore you to do so. I need you to do it. The day that came out was just foundational. Like I said, foundational. So I believe, obviously it's going to require some extra hands if I am going to do that, which thankfully I think I know a few people who are willing to help me. But if you want to make something the level of Marry the Night, I'm going to try. I'm going to give it the old college try, and I'm going to do my best to give you Marry the Night. If you do just want to do, like, I don't know, I still think The Edge of Glory, it took some setup. Like, I don't know if it was shot on a soundstage or anything like that, but, I don't know. If you want something simple, I can give you something simple. If you want Marry the Night, I can give you Marry the Night, okay? I am a filmmaker, all right? I am an artiste, and we can work together. So I'm hoping I make some great stuff this year. I'm hoping these collaborations prove to be fruitful, and I hope I can get some good music videos for the Jackson scene, because I feel like a music video just elevates things. Like, I don't really watch music videos these days, so it's like maybe I should get back to watching music videos, but just like, yeah, if you want to, shoot. Where were they even for Stickly? They were just like out in a field. If you want to do something like that, I can find a field and you can do a deep squat and I will record it and we will make it so good. Hold on. That music video, they're like in front of a barn. Oh man. Stickly was also honestly like iconic. Like, let's keep it a band. Even though it was kind of, it was its own thing. But, yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a behind the scenes photo. Where is this from? Pinterest. So we're never going to know where that's from. Yeah, they are literally just out in the field. And where are they from? Ohio? Something like that? Yeah. Yeah, they're literally just out in the middle of nowhere. We can find an abandoned house and I will shoot in front of it. Whatever you want, we can make it happen. Let's go. I'm honestly really excited about doing photo shoots and music videos because, again, this is an opportunity for me to expand myself creatively, but also I think an opportunity for a lot of bands here to kind of, I feel like, and it really shouldn't be this way. And I think there are probably a lot of bands / musicians that would agree with me in this, but having a level of polish really does help, and having even just like simple visuals to go with your music definitely does help, I think. And being able to provide that, I think, will honestly be great. It'll be so great. I don't want to have to, I don't even know if I want to bring this up. I mean, it's not bad or anything. I know it's bad with thinking too highly of myself, but let's see, like some months ago, but this video from Vice came across my timeline on Instagram. And it was of this woman who was a photographer for like a bunch of punk and hardcore bands back in like the 90s. And she was just going through all these photos she had taken and like, I don't know if this sounds crazy, but like, I want to be that, I want to be the chronicler of things that are happening here so that people will be able to look back and remember like, oh, what was the music scene like in Jackson in like the 2020s, like what was that like? And I'll be able to, you'll be able to see it. And keep in mind, I'm definitely not the only person doing this. So like, I'm not the only one, but I like to think that I can be someone contributing to that at the very least. So yeah, there's that. Again, there's nothing wrong with thinking highly of yourself. That's mostly for me, not for you. But yeah, it was a nice little clip. Also, R.I.P. Vice. R.I.P. Vice. R.I.P. Dark Side of the Ring. Like, it was such a good channel. made so much good programming, such good documentaries, like in the 2010s. Even though it was founded by like the Proud Boys guy, but like it grew past him, you know. R.I.P. Vice. That's all I have to say is R.I.P. Vice. Anywho, what's next? So speaking of, wait, did I mention it? I can't even remember if I. Anyway, I got something in the mail today, and today's Sunday, so it probably came yesterday. But I talked about on the last podcast about the album Hollow Earth by Akashic 45s. They are longtime listeners of the pod, so of course they saw it. And they sent me a little CD. It's Hollow Earth by the Akashic 45s. I've already done my little review on my Instagram stories, but we can do a quick one here. Here's the inside of the CD, which is upside down. Oh my goodness, I'll just have to turn this upside down. There we go. That's the CD itself, which is so cool, by the way. The little earth on the CD, like that's nice. And then we have the booklet, and I love a good booklet. I love good packaging. We have the thanks, the special thanks, the credits, all that stuff on this side of the. Why am I talking like that? This side of the booklet. This is the front side. We have some pictures here of the band. Come on. Ooh, there we go. There's gonna be some glare. Don't focus on me. Nope. There we go. There's some come on. Focus. There we go. You know what? You saw it. And then we have on the inside lyrics. I do have quite a few CDs and tapes that I've collected. Not all of them have lyrics. And that is somewhat disappointing. I kind of want to see the lyrics. Because, you know, they're not like online anywhere. And I just want to see the lyrics. What's so bad about that? I'm going to have to read through these a little bit later. But quick CD review. I did listen to it earlier today after I got it out of my mailbox because I like to listen to a little CD or a little tape when I'm doing a little tidying of my home. Why won't this go in? Oh my goodness gracious. Please go in the thing. There we go. I listened to it earlier today. Of course, I've heard the album several times now, so it's great. Sounded great on my speakers, and I'm glad I have the physical version now. What I should have asked for Christmas, which I think I was going to, but it was like too late. Once I realized like, oh, I need to ask for something for Christmas, it was like the week before. So it's like, oh, never mind. I want a CD tower. And I found one on the Bezos platform that I thought was really nice. It's like revolving. It's pretty tall. It's also like $200. And also I was thinking like, I must know like a couple of handy people. Like, I gotta know somebody who knows how to operate a saw and a drill. And if not, maybe I should become the person and just, like, build my own to my specifications. But, like, I don't know. I don't want a saw or a drill. I should have asked for a drill. Honestly. I should have asked for a drill. Do I need a drill? There's not been many scenarios where I've needed to drill something, like, recently. But I feel like having a drill would be nice. You know, nothing fancy. Just like a regular drill. Do they have purple power tools? Hold on. Oh my god. Yes, they do. Well, okay, there's no power drill, but there is, from Sears. Oh, remember Sears? She's still around somehow. There's a lilac. It's what is this called? First choice? A lilac tool set. It's got pliers, it's got screwdrivers, it's got a hammer, it's got a measuring tape, scissors, it's got electrical tape, it's got a level, and it's got a bag, and it's my favorite shade of purple, which I think, okay, I'm seeing this on AliExpress for like $88, so I don't think these are like good tools, but, yeah. I just love purple. There's another tool. Oh, this one's $15 and it's on Temu. I don't know, y'all. Either way, I can find a purple tool set. It's got little scrapers on it. It's got hooks. It's got alligator clips. It's got an Allen wrench set. Oh, it's got all sorts of stuff. Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll just ask for this next year. Yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind. Purple tool set, including a drill. Can I find a purple drill? Hold on. Okay, I'm finding purple drills, but they're not the right kind of purple. Like, I feel like a lot of purple stuff, it's not going to be lilac. Because I will say, lilac is kind of its own thing. But these are like a deeper, like a true purple, I would say. Like, if you thought of purple in your mind, maybe not when I think of purple in my mind, because when I think of purple in my mind, I think of hold on, are you going to be able to see this? My purple keyboard, one of my prized possessions. Like, this color is my quintessential purple. And by the way, there are it's printed on the side, which wouldn't have been my first choice, but this is literally the only full-size purple keyboard that I could find at the time. It's mechanical. It was my graduation gift to myself, and it is one of my prized possessions, and I don't think they make them anymore. So if I wanted to get a replacement, I would be out of luck, but I feel like I've treated this one well enough. Either way, that's my shade of purple, not the ones that you might typically find, like a regular kind of purple, you know? This is like a nail Dremel. Why is this here? Yeah, that's a nail drill. And it's $40, marked down from 60. I don't need that. Also, I haven't really thought about this because, like, there's nothing to think about, but I haven't done my nails in a while. Like, when I was in college, every Sunday, I was painting my nails a new color. And I sort of carried that on to when I started working, but I don't know. I just haven't done my nails really at all recently. I still have a lot of nail polish, including in my favorite shade of purple. I just haven't done my nails. Well, anyway, that's that. So I said this episode is probably going to be shorter. We're literally almost at an hour, so no, it's not. It's going to be normal length. I didn't really have a lot to put down because I haven't really been going to shows. There hasn't really been shows. And I haven't really been doing anything other than like traveling and like sleeping. The sleep though, oof, the sleep has been sleeping. I don't know. I don't know if my sleep quality has like gotten better, but I feel like the sleep has gotten better. Although I will say, these past couple of days, I don't know what the heck is going on. I've had insane dreams. Like, I kind of always have insane dreams, but I feel like I had a break of having insane dreams. And then just like last night, the night before, and maybe the night before that, I've just been having wacky dreams. Like, the dreams are back. I don't know what it is about it, but the wacky dreams are back. And I have always been, I think I have always been like a wacky dreamer because I still have dreams that I had. Well, I mean, it's just like one. I have like maybe one or two dreams that I had when I was a child, like an actual single digit human being, that I still remember. And one of them, so, fun fact about me, I don't think I've ever told anybody this. I think this really is just like a fun fact piece of lore about me. But when I was a kid, I was afraid of Michael Jackson. And not for the reasons you may think. I didn't know about the whole, is he a molester? Is he not a molester? That wasn't on my radar as a child. I just knew that I saw a person who looked like a person, but also didn't really look like a person. And I'm talking about 2000 Michael Jackson, when he was still alive. He died in 2009 when I was 9. So, keep that in mind. This is the Michael Jackson that I know. We are fully into Uncanny Valley territory with his face. And that terrified the crap out of me as a kid. Because, look at Michael Jackson in the 2000s. Like, I've come around to Michael Jackson, obviously, love his music. But, I just gotta, yeah. Like, he was kind of freaky looking. I'm just gonna keep it a band. He was kind of freaky looking, and I was terrified of him. And of course, he was the world's biggest pop star at the time, in the 2000s, up until his death. So it's like, he was on television not infrequently, and also during the trial, which, when was that trial, actually? I think that was maybe like in 2005. This fly is back. Get away from me. Was that like in the 2000s? Let me see. Yeah, that was in 2005. So already I'm 5 years old. Well, actually, what time of the year did this take place? Okay, I'm 5 years old. Already just like afraid of everything. And I'm seeing Michael Jackson on the news like every night during this trial. And I'm like, this is crazy. This man looks insane. So that's the background. I was afraid of Michael Jackson as a child. I'm not anymore, but one of the few dreams, and honestly this is low-key a nightmare, but one of the few dreams that I can remember from my childhood was I was getting chased around like a hotel by Michael Jackson, like the hallways of a hotel by Michael Jackson. And it's so vivid. I can remember like the pattern of the carpet. Like the carpet in the hotel hallway was like red, and it had these like golden, I don't really know what the pattern is called, like flourishes that bordered the hallway, and like I remember that. And I remember that being very terrifying for me as a child. So yeah, I've been able to remember my dreams for quite some time now. And that had to have been, gosh, 5, 6, 7 years old, maybe, when I had those dreams or that dream. Maybe even a little bit younger, I don't know. But yeah, I have vivid dreams. Like, I have really vivid dreams. I don't know what really changes it. Like, I don't really know how to trigger having a vivid dream or anything like that. And I think things got like really different after I watched Inception for the first time when I was like 14. Like, I watched that movie and my dreams just like got turbocharged to a degree that's like so crazy. Like, there was a noticeable change in my dreams after I watched the movie Inception. To the point where I was low key lucid dreaming in some of them, and I wasn't doing like all the normal stuff to like trigger lucid dreams. Like, I know there were like some apps back in the day where it's like, oh, we'll play a certain sound and it'll trigger a lucid dream, or you had to write them down right after you woke up, and then that would like make you have lucid dreams. I don't really remember like having to do any of that. I remember trying, and I remember it like not working, but I also didn't try very hard. Like, I did it maybe for 1 or 2 nights, and then I like gave up, which story of my life, trying things a couple of times and then giving up. Anyway, um, but yeah, I do remember lucid dreaming a lot when I was in high school because again, I watched Inception when I was like 14. And there are just like so many vivid dreams that I've had. Like, there have been a lot of recurring like themes in my dreams. Like, when I was learning how to drive, and I didn't know the origin of this until I had to take driver's ed for the second time, which I didn't fail driver's ed. I think what happened was that I have had an early birthday, right? So I was always, one of the youngest people in the class. And I took driver's ed for the first time when I was in the 10th grade when I was 14. And I guess I was too young to get my learner's permit, so I had to like do it again, or they like left it off my transcript or something like that. I can't even remember the reasoning for it, but I had to take driver's ed twice. Once when I was 14 and again the next year when I was 15. And after I took driver's ed the first time, I started getting these crazy dreams, which already we know my how does driving keep coming up in this episode? This is crazy. We already know how I feel about driving, but the way that I feel about driving, I think, was kind of spurred on by my driver's ed experience, because I never really felt a type of way about driving. Like, I wasn't particularly like excited to start driving or anything like that, or like apprehensive or anything. I was never in any accidents growing up, so it's like that's not where that came from. But when I was in driver's ed, they would our teacher legit showed us like snuff films. I'm talking, there are two particular ones. One that I kind of figured out was fake the second time that I took driver's ed, but the first one, I don't even know. Basically, it was like videos from firefighters responding to car crashes, and there's like dead people on the side of the road, and obviously you're led to believe that they're real. And given that I was, kind of young at the time, I was still very easily afraid of things. And so here I am trying to be taught how to drive, and you're showing me videos of dead people on the side of the road, and now you're trying to be like, okay, get in a car and drive. And it's like, I don't want to die. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, the first time I drove long distance from Selma to Jackson after I got my first car, by the time I made it to Jackson, my hands hurt so much because I was just gripping the steering wheel. Like, I was terrified. Like, legit, so scared. Obviously, things are somewhat better these days, but it's not great. But at the time, after I taken driver's ed, I started getting these dreams where I was driving a car and I was like trying to stop, but the brakes wouldn't break, and I would like end up crashing. And that was like a recurring nightmare that I had, and I never knew why. And like I said, I get very vivid dreams to the point where I can like feel things in my dreams. So I could feel the amount of pressure that I was putting on the brake pedal. fast forward to the second time that I take driver's ed. Before they actually let you go in a car, they had these probably decades old simulators, which at the time, I mean, they had to be from the 90s. So already, even when I was taking driver's ed, they were like kind of old. But we had these like driving simulators that were, steering wheel, pedals, all the knobbity knobs on the steering wheel, the um transmission, all that stuff, the gear shift. Did I call it transmission? The gear shift. That thing. They had that, and then we would watch a video on a projector, and it would like sync up to the car somehow. I never really asked how it worked, but the brakes on these simulators were like so stiff. Like you had to press down so hard. Like they were much more stiff than an actual brake. I think the what I can compare it to is if you were in your car and your car wasn't on and you push down on the brake pedal. Like it doesn't really move. There's not a lot of give there. That's kind of what it felt like. And that was what I was feeling in my dreams. Because like the brakes weren't breaking. I'm moving my foot. You can't see my feet. But I'm trying to brake. The brakes aren't breaking. And now I'm like flying into walls and off of dividers and stuff like that and waking up freaking terrified. So, I will say, even though like all the dreams that I've described have been nightmares, having vivid dreams is a blessing and a curse because you get these like really, I can get these like really fun, really adventurous dreams that are just like so great. Or I can have a dream that I'm dying in a tornado and it's really realistic and I wake up crying and that's not great. So yeah, I've had dreams that were so horrific and terrifying and saddening where there's one particular instance where I was in I don't know what grade I was in, but I was in high school and I wasn't in the ninth grade. So maybe I was in the 10th grade, I don't know. But I had a dream that was so terrible and terrifying that I could not go to school that day. Like, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I woke up crying and I stayed crying for like 30 minutes. It was so terrifying. It was just bad. I was also, going through some stuff at the time, which, sort of contributed to me having that dream and to that dream being so bad that I was like, this is too much for me. Like, I can't go to school today. And my mom let me stay home. So, yeah. I haven't had those kinds of dreams recently. I do still have dreams sometimes where I wake up crying, but like, then I'll kind of go back to sleep and then I'll wake up like properly for the day and I was like that was kind of odd. That was kind of an odd dream. But in the moment it like feels so real, So it's like, yeah, but obviously now I can't just like call off of work. So, I have had, in the last like year, had some dreams where I wake up and I'm still like kind of whacked out by it. But obviously I have to keep going because I'm an adult and I have adult responsibilities. So it's like, I can't stay home. So yeah. How the heck did I even start talking about dreams? I don't know. How did we get here? That wasn't on the list of topics, by the way. That was totally random. Anywho, I want to give some reflections and some hopes and some goals that I have for the Big 26. I don't have my full list of goals for the year because I haven't really settled on anything. But I'll start with my reflections. I didn't really give them last episode because I don't know. I was prepared, but I wasn't really prepared to be reflecting on the year in my last episode, but I think I am now. And honestly, I think I can say that 2025 was a pretty good year for me. Was it as good as 2026? 2026 was good. I would say 2025 and 2026 were probably equal in their goodness. I've already 2023 was, it was my euthanasia coaster of a year. Which, if you don't know, the euthanasia coaster, it's not a real roller coaster, but it's a conceptual roller coaster that is designed so that the G-forces are supposed to kill you. So you get on the roller coaster and you die. That's why it's called the euthanasia coaster. And it's basically one big loop and then a bunch of little loops. Well, that's not what that's called. I think, what are these? These are inversions, right? I don't know. There's like coaster terminology that I'm not aware of, but basically, for me, 2023 started off real bad. I was at this job that I hated, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. And that was January, and things progressed really quickly because it got really bad, but then it got really good, and then it got really bad again. And then throughout the rest of that year, I was just spiraling. So 2023, whack. 2024, much better. 2025, equally as good, I will say. Which, I mean, that's not really a reflection, but, professionally for me, how was 2025? I would say it's like stagnant because I don't really think that's stagnant. I will say my professional output that, I've done at work, I think I like some of the stuff I made in 2024 a little bit better than the stuff that I made in 2025. I wouldn't say 2025 was like my flop era at work, but I will say when it came time to select stuff to be submitted for awards, I was struggling to think of stuff. Like, I was like, what? Just compared to last year, what have I done this year that is like, yeah, I'll submit this to the Emmys? And we did end up finding some stuff. It wasn't, commercials, it was long form stuff. So it ended up being fine. And that did really eat. It really ate. Um, I might have it in my calendar. It's almost Emmy season. And getting nominated for an Emmy is still on my list of goals. I still want to do it. I didn't do it last year. I want to do it this year. I think this year might be my year. Well, okay. Given that I did say 2025 was like my flop era, I don't know. I don't know if this year's going to be my year. I can only hope that I make some really good stuff this year. I did express to my higher ups that I did want to make more long form stuff, and hopefully I will be doing more of that this year. Because listen, commercials, they're fine. I just need to do a little bit more, honestly. I just want to do more. And that's it. I just want to do more. I'm not even looking at my calendar. I'm looking at everything but my calendar. Let me see. No, I don't think I put it on my calendar, actually. I didn't. Never mind. Well, okay. Anywho, is this year gonna be my year for awards? I don't know. Maybe not. Perhaps. And they always say, oh, we don't do it for awards, but I do it for awards, because I'm not even gonna lie. Listen, a lot of my life, a lot of my aspirations have been, aspired for just so I can spite a man. If it's one thing that I love doing, it's spiting man. It all started when I was in the 10th grade, and I had a really terrible English teacher who told me I would never be a good writer. Kind of unprompted, by the way. That was kind of out of nowhere. Now, was I a good writer in the 10th grade? I would say I was on the level of writers who are 14 years old. But do you tell a 14-year-old that? No. Why would you do that? You old so-and-so. He's still alive, by the way. So hopefully I can, get something published while he's still alive, and then I will dedicate it to him. And I have resolved to do that for the last 10 years. A decade has been spent proving to this I could say a lot of mean words, but I'm not going to, this old man that I am a good writer. And one day I will prove it to him, and he probably won't even remember who I am. But you know what? I'll have the satisfaction. Another thing, I just want to be the first person from the Belhaven Film Department. I'm wearing the shirt today. You can't really see it. There we go. From the Belhaven Film Department to win an Emmy or be nominated. And I haven't really been keeping tabs on my classmates like that to know whether or not that would actually be the case. But I think I could be the first person to be nominated for an Emmy. And when that happens, I'm doing an old Hollywood style photo shoot, if I do win, with my statuette. I'm writing a press release for the university. I'm sending it over. I want to be in that alumni magazine, all right? I want to get a full spread, okay? I will be getting a full spread. It's not a daytime Emmy, it's not a primetime Emmy, it's still an Emmy. The statutes are the same, and they're sister organizations, so I do not care. I don't care. Gosh darn it. And I'm going to be sending signed 8x10s to the university. So yeah, when that does happen. And I'm saying it will happen. So watch this space. I might come back and be your Emmy winningest host. I'll be holding the statuette just like this. And yeah, when that happens, it'll happen. Yeah. So yeah. Also, I didn't really do anything to like mark this. I can't tell you guys how many videos I've recorded for my main channel and just did not edit. It's got to be 3 at this point, maybe 4. Just 4 videos that are just sitting unedited because it's just like, it's like, I don't know if this is a saying or not, but a chef, they spend all day cooking, they come home and they make hot dogs. That's kind of how I feel with editing. I'm not even gonna lie, that's how it's become. It wasn't that way when I was at my last job because I straight up wasn't working at my last job. Like, I wasn't doing any actual editing at my last job, so I still had so much energy in me to do some editing. Now I'm actually doing stuff, so it's like it's kind of hard for me to go from editing at work to basically working at home. It's just, I don't know. I was kind of hoping that wouldn't happen because I feel like I put out some great videos, some great video essays when I was at my last job, but like now I just don't have it in me. And it's crazy because I've legit recorded like 4 videos and just have not edited them. And that's really sad. But one of those videos was going over my presentation that I gave when I was taking film careers at school, um, going over, my 5 and 10-year plan for my job and seeing how much of that panned out. But did I even make the point I was trying to make? It's been 5 years since I graduated from college, which is a crazy thing to say. I don't know, man. Time, she passes, and that's what she does. And you can't stop her. She's a runner, she's a track star, and she'll just go, whether you like it or not. So it's like, yeah, it's been 5 years since I graduated from college. And I can't remember if I ever talked about this on the podcast. I think I talked about it on like my Instagram stories a bajillion years ago. Not that long ago, wasn't that long ago. But I actually went through the trouble of looking up a number of my classmates from film. And a lot of them still live in the area. And I thought it would be really nice to do like a little, not really a reunion, but like a mini reunion, it would be nice to see everybody again. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. It would be nice to see everybody again because as it stands right now, I don't talk to anybody that I went to school with, high school or college, which is, what's the reasoning for that? It could be a number of things, but, I don't. And I did at one point in these time, I did at one point in time hold these people very closely to my heart. And now I don't speak to them anymore. And it's like, well, how did that happen? I mean, I only have a good reason for like one of those people. Everybody else, considering most of them do still live in the area, no good reason. So it's like, is that adulthood? Drifting apart from people for no good reason? Maybe. It doesn't have to be though. And I do want to have, a little get together, just like a little dinner, something, not even anything like really complex with my old film classmates. And I thought about doing this, I think starting like last September or something like that, or the most recent September 2025 is when I think got that idea. And I went and looked everybody up and I could find most people. Some people I just straight up could not find. Some people just do not have a online presence and that's so crazy to me. So yeah. Huh. Anywho, reflections and hopes. I don't really know if I have anything left to reflect on for 2025. It's over, it's done with, it happened. It's January now. Is it cold? It might be, it doesn't matter. It was cold when I left this morning to go grocery shopping. But yeah, what do I want for myself for this year? Well, if we're gonna do our goals, because again, I didn't really have my goals like thought out aside from being nominated for an Emmy, but I do want to be nominated for an Emmy. I want to make a music video, at least one music video. I want to have it completed, out in the world, done, my name on it, yada yada. What else? I mean, okay, so last year I had moving, which I did move to this lovely apartment, which yeah, which I don't regret moving or anything like that. Like, I like where I'm living. I like it a lot. But now, that the whole house buying thing is in conversation, that has changed somewhat. I don't want to say like I jinxed myself or I got too overzealous or anything like that, because I don't really think that's the case. But I won't really know what the situation is until like after this week. So, which is why I didn't put it on the list because, I was gonna, do updates every step of the way when it came to buying a house because, it's different. I don't really know that many people. Like I know a handful of people around my age. I'll put it that way, around my age that have actually bought their house. Um, so some people, especially young people, not maybe might not know the process of it, and I was like, why not? Why not document the process of buying a house? I mean, can you find many such series on YouTube.com? Maybe. I feel like I'd see more, more like pregnancy series than I do house buying series, or maybe house flipping, because I feel like the buying part that's maybe not as visually interesting for like a series on YouTube.com, but flipping, like one person who I definitely lived vicariously through as they were like renovating a home was, I'm gonna say her name so wrong, Karolina Zabrowska. She is a Polish costume designer, and she is also a one of those people who wears historical fashion, and she makes YouTube videos about historical fashion and stuff like that. And she bought an apartment in Poland and like turned it into this like magical. I can't remember if it's 1930s or 1920s, but early 1900s style house. And I watched that whole entire series and I was like, ooh, this is because first of all, she did a really good job with her home, and also just living vicariously through someone doing what I want to do. Pretty great because perhaps most people do know this about me, but I love The Sims. But one of the main things that I love about The Sims is building and decorating houses. That is my main, that's like, yeah, if I'm not creating melodramatic drama for my little virtual people, I'm building them banger homes, okay? So, being able to see someone do that, that was really nice. But also, I want to do that for myself. And, I don't really have a whole lot of money to be renovating a home, which is why I've been looking for homes that don't need renovations, like big things done to it. The most I would do to a house if I bought it is change out doors, which that isn't really a big thing to do, but yeah, definitely change out doors. Um and maybe kitchen cabinets. And maybe I'll have like some new carpet put in, and maybe have a hardwood floor redone if it needs to be redone. Um, that's and painting, obviously, but that's like pretty much it. I'm not trying to do anything major to any house that I buy because again, I don't have the money and I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I'm not Bob Builder. I'm not knocking down walls. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I don't have to. I don't have to. It's my house. Hypothetically, I can do whatever I want to it or not to it. So, yeah, great. But like I said, I don't know if I want to put buying a house because I don't even know. Like, I won't know what the deal is with that until after this week. So it's like, I don't know. Will you get an update in the next podcast episode? Maybe. Get subscribe to find out. So yeah, get nominated for an Emmy, make a music video. What else? I'm not gonna lie. Can I be vulnerable for a second? I don't really talk about stuff like this on the pod cuz like I don't know. It's just I don't know. But I'm going to be vulnerable for a second. I have kind of been thinking about my relationship status a little bit. Um I am, of course, currently single, and this wasn't something that really bothered me until like last year, which it didn't even really bother me last year. There's just like a thing that happened last year that was just like so utterly devastating that I was like, it wrecked me for, I want to say like a full month. So I don't know. I'm just gonna lay it all out there because this person's definitely not gonna. They're not watching this. They're not watching this. And if they do, well, now you know how I feel. But there's this person that I used to work with. Do I even want to go into this? I'm going to go into this because I've been thinking about it a lot recently and I just need to get it off my chest. I've already talked about it in therapy. So if anyone's going to be like, oh, this is for a therapist, she already knows. She knows everything. Okay. So, there's this guy that I used to work with and I was sort of interested in him. And, we would kind of talk back and forth a little bit at work. And it wasn't like a thing. And I was honestly going to keep it to myself because, in my past attempted romantic endeavors, I have kind of been the one to make the first move, which I have learned is apparently socially unacceptable, which is crazy because, like, it's crazy. Um, I don't know. I get the reasonings for it. Obviously, I get the historical context around why women don't make the first move, but like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. We were at the time in 2025. Like, get over yourself, perhaps. Um, so it's like, I was kind of getting I was what? I was kind of going to keep it to myself. Now I'm making the episode long because I'm going into this whole story. I was gonna keep it to myself. I was gonna be like, whatever happens, it'll happen. If it don't, it's whatever. It's like I'm going to protect my feelings in this case. And so, after another somewhat, I mean, it wasn't after another saga that I had at work, which it wasn't really a saga, but my team members found out that I was interested in someone at work, and also, oh man, this story was even crazier, I think. So I had devised a plan. I got my my number one wingman at work to kind of run interference for me, to invite this person out on my behalf, but not mention me. Why am I engaging in these reindeer games at my big age of, how old was I? 25? 24? It was a couple of years ago. So I must have been 24. Yeah, why was I doing that at my big age? I don't know. I was just trying stuff out. Cause like, listen, I don't know. I was just trying stuff out. And so, we had one of our semi-regular get-togethers, me and my team members. And I had my number one wingman do the little invite for me, and come to find out, the guy turned it down, and it was whatever. But what ended up happening, which this is so crazy to me because I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. What ended up happening was that, the guy ended up saying like, oh yeah, I would love to go, but I have a date tonight, and it was with someone else that we worked with. And take a guess at where these two people are now. Well, they ended up dating pretty long term, and I mean, I haven't really looked into these people because, like, I'm trying to save myself here from, I don't know what I'm trying to save myself from, but I'm trying to save myself here. And yeah, they both moved to another state, and as far as I know, they're still together, and as far as I know, they are probably really happy with each other. And that was their first date. That was their first date. If they weren't going on that date, which, I mean, I can't guarantee that this would have even worked, but just walk with me here. Just walk with me, because I feel like I'm going insane every time I think about this. But if they didn't go on that date, then he would have gone, and then where would I be now? Those are the kinds of things that I think about. But anywho, after that saga, a lot of my team members took it upon themselves to facilitate me finding a man, I guess, which I found very flattering. I feel like if you're not the type of person to like want that kind of thing, it could be annoying, but I found it flattering and honestly low-key kind of funny how intensely they're trying to help me find a man. But yeah, so I was talking to my boss about this like completely separate thing, and she like calls me back into her office. And we're all chill like this, by the way. I feel like, I only really read about this stuff online, so I don't know. I feel like the kind of dynamic that I have with my coworkers is like some Redditors. It's Redditor's nightmare scenario, because I actually get along with my team members. I hang out with them outside of work sometimes, and it's like, we're actually pretty close. Me and my team members. I do quite like them a lot, okay? But what was I saying? My boss called me in. She was like, oh, what do you think about so-and-so at so-and-so? And I was like, oh, and this was the guy. So I hadn't told anybody anything. I was minding my business, drinking my juice, okay? Not letting anything slip. But clearly, all that to say, to kind of quicken this story up, all that to say is that, other people sort of convinced me that he was also into me. And I was like, oh man, great. There might actually be something there because, my whole thing is that I have not had mutual attraction with someone. I don't want to say ever, but it feels like it's never happened. I'll say that. It feels like it's never happened. I'm just going to keep it a band. Like, I don't know why that is. It just is. And that's that on that. And so, I am trying to figure out how to approach this. And obviously I go to my therapist with this. And also that, I think, is when she told me about that preposterous book called The Rules. When did I talk about this? When was this? When was this episode? Because I made an episode about it. Oh my gosh. Where was this? Okay, not there. It was a little bit later. What episode was this? Oh my god. It was called More Like the Foolishness. I could just... More like... Episode 45, April 9th, 2025. Which that is like a month after the whole thing happened. So that happened afterwards, never mind. But either way, my therapist recommended me this book called The Rules, which is like a list of dating rules for women that is just... It's really outdated. It was written in like the 2000s. There is a If Books Could Kill episode about it, and it's kind of preposterous. And I do rip into it in that episode because, it's just like, no, I won't be applying any of these rules to my life because what the heck, like it's like that. But basically she was just kind of telling me after I told her, like, I've always been the person to make the first move. She was like, why don't you just sit back? Just sit back and wait. Sit back and see what happens. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Why the heck not? Fine, I will do that. So, I was just sitting back and seeing what happened. And then he transferred somewhere else. He left. He moved to another city. Well, he moved to another city. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, so much for that. That kind of sucked. But he still worked in our industry. And so we had our whole... We had we had our, yearly event. Our yearly event in our industry. And as soon as I sit down at our table, two of my coworkers were like, did you see so-and-so? He's here. He's here. You have to talk to him. And I was like, at this point, it's been... if not a year, maybe not a year, maybe like half a year since he left. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go find him and talk to him, but like, fine, I guess. And so, we do eventually find him. I end up talking to him. It's like, whatever. He does seem genuinely happy to see me. So it's like, I don't know. Already, there's like some mixed messaging there. And I'm like, okay. Like, yeah. And I wasn't really hoping for anything to happen, but it's the end of the night. We've won our big award and all of us are feeling great. And then I see him again and we're up on this like rooftop bar at the end of the big event. And, I'm talking to him and he's like, oh, I have to go, but we should keep in touch. And so I get his phone number and then I'm like, I'm in there now. Like, yeah, like I am that girl. Like already I was feeling great because, the big event went really well for us. So like already I'm like, I'm that girl. And also I thought it looked really great. I had bought a new frock for the occasion. I thought I did my makeup really well. I thought I looked really pretty. And I was like, oh yeah, we're doing great. We're getting there. And so, a couple days pass. We're sort of texting, but not really. But I'm like, I have been, I can't. I just can't just like sit back and wait. Because I sat back and waited and then the guy moved away. So it's like, I don't want to waste any time. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm getting straight to it. What I said was sort of audacious. It was. But, I think... I'm allowed a little audacity as a treat. It wasn't super audacious. It wasn't like, man levels of audacity. Basically what I said in our text messages was that, I think I'm right. I think you had feelings for me when we worked together, and I felt the same way. What say you? And then I don't get a response for like a while. And then, I'm waiting for like a while. I can't remember how long it was, but I want to say it was maybe more than a day. And already my stomach is in knots because I'm like, oh my God, like, why is it taking so long for this guy to respond to this message that I've just sent that was, I will admit, a little audacious. And so, I wake up bright and early one morning. It was a weekday too, so I had to go to work. All right. I wake up bright and early, and I'm laughing now, but at the time it was just awful. It was the worst thing ever. I woke up to this whole long message that basically said no. It basically said no. And also, something that I kind of thought about, because I asked a follow-up question that went unanswered. I think he might have used ChatGPT to respond to me, and I'm not even gonna lie that if that was the case, you're done. You're done. It's curtains for that. We're not doing this. So it's like that. I saw that message and I immediately start crying because I'm like, what on earth? How was I wrong? When I tell you, so many people were saying like, oh, he likes you. Oh, he likes you. He likes you. And I believe them because I thought so too, right? All these people were saying that only for it to be wrong. Like, I legitimately was just gonna keep it to myself and, like, never say anything until all these people were like, "Oh, he likes you. Oh, he likes you so much. Oh, he's flirting with you constantly." Like, I would have kept it to myself were it not for people getting in my ear and telling me that. And it's like, well, shoot. We were all wrong. What's that all about? And it's, it's still low-key kind of hurts. Not right now. I don't know why. It doesn't really hurt that much. Talking about it, but sometimes I'll think about it. I'm like, good golly, like what the heck happened? Like, like God, like maximum hurt. And I'm crying like literally all morning. Like I go to work, nobody says anything, which could be good or bad. I don't really know. But I go to work looking like I had been crying all morning because I had been crying all morning. I cried a little bit when I got back home. I cried, in bed. And I think I might have cried a little bit the next morning, but it legitimately ruined my week. It ruined my month. It ruined the next like couple of months. I was like, what the heck happened? So yeah, that's yeah. All that to say is that, I've been thinking about my relationship status, and it's like, maybe I do want to have a dalliance or 2 or 3 this year. But it's like, I at this point, I don't even know how to do that. I legitimately do not know how to do that because I feel like, I don't know, it's almost giving I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas, but I haven't tried nothing. Like, I feel like I've tried a couple different things. Like, I was on the apps there for like a hot minute. I got one date from Bumble like in 2022 or something like that. Yeah, like January 2022. And honestly, it went okay, but then the person I was on the date with was like, I don't believe men and women can be friends. And I was like, then we'll never see each other again. Because, I feel like for me, sometimes it does take a little while for me to like build up that attraction to a person. But also, like, I wasn't really feeling anything at the time with this person. But I was like, they seem cool. We have a few interests in common. I feel like we could be friends. And after I had that thought, he dropped, I don't think men and women can be friends. Like that, the timing was so crazy. Oh my God. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't really know how I feel about the apps. Honestly, the way that I felt using dating apps felt almost the same as applying for jobs when I was unemployed. Like, I was just putting out so many applications and I could not even get an email back a lot of the time. And that is dehumanizing. And I don't think I will be engaging in such activities this time. And now we're in the age of AI. Like, if I clock that someone's using ChatGPT to respond to my messages, I'm gonna crash out like so hard. Like, it's not gonna be nice. And do I want to deal with that? I don't know. But also at the same time, if I do want to have my few dalliances, what is a girl to do? Cause it's not like I'm just in the house all the time. I do go out sometimes. So it's like I'm not just, you know, completely invisible, So it's I really don't know. I really don't know what to do. I I've tried nothing and well, okay, I haven't tried nothing, like I said. I've tried a few things and I'm all out of ideas. I genuinely I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. So, yeah. Anyways, is that a goal for the year? Maybe. I don't know if I want to make it a goal. It's something that's in the back of my mind, but I don't know if it's going to be on the list, do I want to read more books? I read 3 last year. I feel like, oh my god, this fly is still over here. God. Can I read? I'll do this. Read at least 3 books this year. There we go. Nominated for an Emmy. Make a music video. Did I have a third one? I can't remember. I'll watch this back and maybe I'll remember. Read at least 3 books. Bing, bang, boom. Can I do a photo shoot? I'll do a photo shoot. Oh my god, fly. Do at least 1 photo shoot. Make at least 1 music video. Get nominated for an Emmy. Get away. What did I even just say? Read at least 3 books. That's not what I said. Do a photo. You know what? I did them all already. And I think that's a pretty good start for the year. I don't know what other. I don't really have any work-related goals. I mean, getting nominated for an Emmy is a work-related goal. So that is my one work-related goal. I feel like I should have categories for goals, like 1 work-related goal, 1 personal life-related goal, 1 creativity-related goal. I used to have money-related goals, like I wanted to save, like I had a couple years in a row where I wanted to have at least $3,000 in my savings. Did I say $3,000? Yes, actually, I have at least $3,000 in my savings account, and I failed both of those times. So I'm not even gonna try to set a money related goal, because girl, I mean, what is the economy? And I know I've I've literally been talking about buying a house, but the weird thing about it is that that's gonna make things easier for me. Having a mortgage is gonna be financially so much easier than paying rent. Like, because I'm not buying a house where my mortgage payment is going to be $1,000 a month. I'm just not. And the ones that are in my budget, which my budget might end up changing, I don't really know, but the ones that are currently in my budget will not be $1,000 a month. They'll be less than that. So, it's yeah, try not to end up on the streets. How about that? I have no clue if my rent is going to be going up this year. That's another thing. Oh god, the phlegm is overtaking. I have no idea if my rent is going to be going up this year in any significant amount. I have seen a listing for another unit in this building, and I know there are no major renovations going on, so yeah, but I see the price for the new unit compared to what I'm paying now. It's not that much more. It's like, what, $10, $20, $25 more. So if it went up by that much, I'd be like, okay, that's whatever. But $100, $200, like we're in the danger zone at that point. Like we're gonna have to figure something out. So yeah, I do have high hopes for the year. I will say for last year, I kind of had this inside joke with myself, like, oh, what happened last year? I'll tell you what happened last year. People were nice to me, people believed in me, and people supported me. And that's what happened in 2025, which is true. That did happen in 2025. People were nice to me, people supported me, and people believed in me. And you know what? That's great. That counts for something. I can't lose sight of that. I can't lose sight of the fact that people are nice to me, people support me, people believe in me. You know? I have long since said when, like, this is a common fact about me, but I don't believe in God. I'm agnostic. The TLDR version of that is don't know, don't care. So that's where I stand on that. But I do get a level of comfort knowing that my mom is actively praying for me. And, like, she cares enough to do that. She cares enough, which, I mean, she's my mom, so, like, I would hope so. But, she cares enough to ask the big guy upstairs, who she believes is there, to, like, help me out. So, that's great. That's pretty great. My mom is praying for me. What a weird way to end the episode, but that's where we're going to end the episode. Oh, man. Yeah. I have high hopes for the Big 2-6. I think it's going to be great. And do I know for a fact that it's going to be great? No. I mean, if you look at the state of things, we're 4 days into the year and we're just... I don't know what to say about the United States other than what the heck. But also, when have I not been saying what the heck about the United States? In the grand scheme of things, they could be so much better. But for me personally, they're doing okay. I can't lose sight of that. I can't lose sight of the fact that things are okay. They're kind of okay right now. They're kind of fine. So, yeah. I do still have high hopes for the Big 2-6. So, let's keep that in mind. And I hope that everyone watching... Why is there a smudge on my monitor? Where'd you come from? I gotta wipe that off. I hope the people watching also have a good Big 2-6. And that everything you hope for is given to you. And everything you worked hard for is also given to you. Because you deserve it. Unless you don't deserve it, then I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I can't make that determination. Okay. Anyways, now I'm just rambling. This has been... Oh, God. That was so loud. This has been the 62nd episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I've been your host, Aaron. Thank you for allowing me to run my mouth. Follow me on Instagram. Gosh, as soon as I say that, I forget. I have to write this down for next time. But also, I didn't finish the episode. But yes, Drag Race happened. I haven't even finished watching the first episode. So there you go. Follow me on Instagram. Because if you're not following me on Instagram, you're only getting half the story. Use code JX10 to get 10% off on eargasm.com. Give yourself the gift of ear protection in the Big 2-6. Yeah, that's it. It's time for me to go. What time is it? Oh, it's not even 8 o'clock. Well, it's almost 8 o'clock. It's literally almost 8 o'clock. It's 7:59. But I've got to go fold my clothes so I can have a smooth week ahead of me and not struggle at all. So let me try and make life easier for me this week.